festive event that you hope to bring in addition to those traditions?
Is this directed toward anyone or just?
I think that's for everyone.
I think one of the traditions we definitely uphold is Fiesta for Change, just because it's a good event and it helps us, raise money for organizations or nonprofit organizations, like, connected to the Philippines or somehow.
I just want to say this is our first year that we're going to do culture night in the ballroom. In the ballroom. And I'd like to continue, even though it's not really a tradition, I think it's just kind of being considered just as big an event as any of the other culture nights that happen, to continue that for future years. Sure.
I think a tradition we have is when we get together, hang out. It's like mostly with food for some reason, like for our potlucks or our Olympia fundraisers. But I feel like for next year we can do so much more, like to build community and unity and friendship. We can like do what Abasu do, like they do things together like sports or laser tag or something fun to bring us all closer together. Because I mean, like I would love to see you guys more than just like once a week. I love your faces.
I was gonna say, I think something that we've started this year, and I definitely want to maintain that and keep it as a tradition, is the level of communication we have exhibited between staff members, within staff, and then between general members as well. And I think that's very important to definitely make sure that everybody that is part of KP is aware of what's going on. That way we can help each other whenever whenever we need to. We can spend time with each other and just and I highly believe in transparency, and I think that's a tradition I definitely want to keep in KP is transparency, communication, the tinikling, of course. That's a very good tradition to keep. And I think as far as new things, kind of what the last three candidates have outlined, as far as doing something like laser tag, or possibly even going on a camping trip, or just like informal get-togethers and potlucks. I think those are great opportunities to spend time with each other, build solidarity and closer bonds with each other within KP. So yeah.
I think it's very important to have recurring events from year to year, mostly because that builds a lot of recognition for us on campus and just shows that we have committed to certain events, such as Fiesta for Change, that we have committed for this cause, and year after year we will keep going for this cause, and that builds up our reputation outside the community and inside the community of UO, because more people will start coming every year and people will hear about it. Also, another tradition I would like to keep would be possibly the clapping thing at the end, even though I don't know the words too well, but clapping thing at the end, because I think that's a very important thing, because the meaning behind it and the fact that we all bond at the end before we leave, so that's always nice. And as traditions go, I feel like more traditions will come as we spend more time with each other for more fellowship events and more just crazy times, a lot of funny jokes. Sometimes that is tradition, sadly, but it is tradition. So, KP on you.
And I have one more thing too. Maybe you guys don't really think too much about it, but T-shirts I think are a very big deal. That's why me and with the help of Johnny and the rest of the staff, we really wanted to push for those, especially when it comes to solidarity at things like conference, even just on campus. I mean, you guys don't really realize. I think maybe this is just my sorority girl and me talking, but just like the impact that wearing something that has something on it in front of everybody else, because we always talk about opportunities to table, passing out flyers during fundraisers, which is all great, of course, but it's like at most once a month. Whereas you can wear a T-shirt anytime you want, especially when you go to lectures and stuff. And so little things like that make a huge impact, because people are going to see that and be like, what is that? Like, I've never seen it before. And so that's why I really wanted to push it. And I was so thankful to staff for allowing me to go through with it and everything. And you guys all wore them to conference, which is awesome. So
Wait, I also have one more thing to add. Sorry, I just thought of something. Another tradition I want to try to keep up, or want to keep up, is the connection we have with community members outside of campus. This year, I worked very closely with Anselmo Villanueva, who's a community member in in groups outside of campus, such as PAA, Filipino American Association, and through him we were able to get like the tinikling sticks, and I feel like if we try to create more of a stronger bond with them, they can teach us. Well, because a lot of the PAA members are older than us, so they can like teach us more dances and more traditions. So I feel like that's really important to learn. It's like, just passing it down, yeah. So that's one thing that I think is important.
I'm relatively the newest member of KP, so my question is based around that. For incoming members, whether it be at the beginning of the term or beginning of spring term or the middle of winter term, what have you, what would you guys do to make them feel more welcome, or at least make them feel like they're part of the KP family?
For me, first of all, just I guess personally, like as a member of KP right now, I would just encourage everybody else in KP to kind of, get to know whoever is any new faces. And one of the things that I really do want to start implementing is getting like a contact list and just, getting people's names, their emails, just finding a way to like, add them on Facebook just so we can stay in touch and let them know like what the events are. And I feel like we've done a good job of doing that this year, but we can definitely still improve, and there's still so many more bridges that we could build with other people, especially new members.
I just want to say, encourage them to definitely go to conference. I was new last year, and I think that was the first time that I really felt like this was something that I wanted to be a part of long term. So things like conference definitely have an impact. And I'm pretty sure other people as well, to not only go out for leadership, but just to become more involved with KP.
So your question was what do we do to get people more like of that welcoming feeling? What I usually do is encourage others to welcome these new people in. But what I also do is I personally take the time to sit down next to them and just talk to them, because everyone loves to be talked to, right? So I mean, just get to know them, and yeah, just make them feel comfortable, and like what Andrea said, like invite them to conference, because conference was like a really big pivotal moment in my life, and I would love for other people to experience that moment too.
I think the other thing we've done a good job as a group is, especially at meetings and then even at staff meetings, which general members are more than welcome to attend. They're every Friday at 5, except this Friday we have Atmosphere Retreat. Yeah. But I think we've done a good job keeping KP an open forum for discussion and being able to communicate with each other. I think that's very important. Also, just kind of parroting off of some of the ideas that they've said. Informal get-togethers too are always very good. Establishing bonds. That's how I got to know people like Demi, Camille, Brian, and a whole bunch of other people from KP really well. Is just hey, going to dinner, getting a cup of coffee or whatever, studying together and stuff like that, or that too. Yeah, that's always a really good bonding experience. And yeah, and so that there's a variety of ways that we go about trying to welcome new members, and those are just some of the few ways that we do that basically.
This is what I'm really fond about. So for another one of my clubs, I'm the fellowship chair, but all we do is have fun, so we rename our chair the fun chair. But to welcome members, I think it's just because just like how we are as a group, as our dynamic, we're just really nice people in general, I feel like. Because like when I came in here, I was a new guy, didn't know anyone. You had to come over here, man. We're all friends, like all buddy, like after 1 week. But another thing would be, I think at the beginning of every meeting, icebreakers are just really nice because it's a nice way to start meetings. Everyone gets a little energy out, so they can sit down, chill for a little bit. Get all friendly, buddy again. And another thing would be even during meetings, so like a little side chatter on the side, not so bad, just always bond. And what I'm really fond of is after the meetings, like go out and like do some basketball or go out and get some froyo afterwards. So just have bonding after the meetings like available and just help. Huh? Only on Friday nights for Thursday nights. But just having that opportunity there for like new members to bond or like for existing members just to go and hang out, So that's what I would do.
I have a question. So I really applaud your dedication. You guys are really passionate about this position. What other commitments do you guys have next year, and how does that play into your role, or like how are you going to manage your time to make sure that you're able to do your jobs next year?
Well, I'll start by saying that for me next year, I would say it's primarily just going to be schoolwork that I really have to dedicate to. I think after schoolwork, of course, KP is definitely a priority that I definitely am willing to invest my time in. And as far as like my involvement in other groups, while I enjoy spending time with them and going to those other groups, I'm kind of not necessarily interested in running for positions of leadership in other groups. For that reason, because I definitely believe very much in KP, and I definitely want to still be a representative and advocate and grow KP to its fullest potential.
Going off of that, I'm kind of in the same boat where besides schoolwork, all I really have time for, well, not time for, but all I really want to spend my time on is KP, just because like I love this group so much that hey, like I want to spend my time and invest a lot of my efforts on this group and like whatever it takes to just better the group or get things done. And so other than that, yeah, and we will be living in a KP house, so
Yeah.
Wait, can we still talk?
Yeah.
Okay. As for me, I do not plan on working at food service next year. So, I really don't. Okay. Well, I will have schoolwork, and if I do decide to take up a leadership role on the MCC, it would be for a minor position, and I find that a way if I get on there to like make some kind of income, like to just support me. But if I'm gonna be in MCC, I'm gonna be here for KP too. So basically that I'm gonna have a lot of like available time for KP. And plus, like, I really think it's important for me to give back to a wonderful group who has helped me, like, become more content with my own identity. Because before I even came to KP, I wasn't content about my identity as a Filipino American at all. And it was you guys that helped me become more of a proud Filipina that I am today. And I just want to give and share that with everybody.
So next year, I'll probably be on a few executive committees, and I don't think that would be a problem since I actually know how to time manage very well. And this came from a very trying time in my life when I was pledging. I got 1 hour sleep for a week. Worst time of my life, and that 1 hour sleep, I slept on a rock outside. So yeah, that's what pledging's like. Don't do it. But through that time, I think I really learned how to maximize my time. Because in that 1 week, I learned that a whole dance routine from scratch, 6 minutes. I learned a whole song. I learned like a butt ton of people's birthdays that I forgot now. Like I don't even know. You have to know their birthdays and what their favorite food is. I don't think that's really important, but yeah. So I think that's just how I adapted as a human. I learned how to time manage. I know how to maximize the time. Like if I'm working on something, I will work on it and give it my all. Like I won't be on Facebook. I hate when people are like, man, I can't do this, or I'm busy. You've been on Facebook for like 6 hours straight. I'm not sure you're really busy or you can't do it. Just you were on Facebook for 6 hours straight. So it's one of those things. So I think if you, this is like a quote I love. If you really want something, you will find a way. If you don't, you will find an excuse. So I will find a way for KP.
We need to.
That should be the